Welcome back to the City Sticker channel. This is going to be a review of my PA hunt season for deer. This year I did a little bit of different things. I had a early September bear hunt up in upper New York, which did not pan out well. That started off my season. There just was not any food available up there where we hunted, and usually cherries and beech nuts was the main source of the food up there, and it had already all dropped and was gone. So that was just a glorified camping trip, and did not pan out for anybody. There was no shooting done, no sightings. So then PA Archery rolled around, and I had about 4 different bucks that I wanted to shoot at, possibly harvest. Had a hit list all built, and that didn't pan out real good. So stick with me in the video. I'm going to be inserting video clips and pictures, and it'll just be like a little timeline of my hunt season. So the start of the season, I went and set up a lot over food plots for that surprise factor on the bucks, why they're gorging themselves all summer and not expecting me to ambush them. So I set up, and the very first Saturday, not a whole lot happened. The first Monday, I was out and a giant 8-point walked under me, and he was on the hit list but not at the top of the list, and it was just a little too dark to see through the peep, and I let him walk. Deeply regretted that the whole season, I think. So went into the third week of archery, not real eventful, and it was time for me to leave and go to Maryland and go on my Sika hunt, and at the Eastern Shore down there at the Blackwater Refuge. That worked out very well for me. Did not get the kill shot on video. A lot of people do not like that. I always say shoot first, film second. I'm not passing up a trophy animal just because the camera was not accessible at the time. So I shot a very large trophy Sika deer. In Maryland, which should make the Maryland record books pretty easily. So I'm going to try to get that officially scored at some point. So I get back to the hotel, and Dave and I from Whitetail Obsession, we hunted together on that Sika hunt. And the night I got the Sika buck, we were laying in bed just getting ready to turn the lights out. I was scrolling through Facebook, and I saw a large buck that was posted from the area that I hunt in. And I was checking it out, and I said, Dave, I think this is my number one hit lister. And so I was looking at it, checking it out. I was pulling up photos on my phone, comparing it to this picture on Facebook, and I was like, Dave, my hit lister's dead, man. I think this is it. And I started reading through the comments, and here it was some local people from here around my destination plots that I plant full of domain seed. And yeah, it was confirmed that a little girl shot my number one hit list buck with a crossbow out of a wooden shanty. And yeah, that kind of hit home. So now I'm thinking, okay, I got 3 hit listers left, and I'd already passed up the big 8-point that was on the list. When I got home from Maryland, I went out and was hunting, and I passed up one on my hit list. Now, he's a funky buck with character, and he had this big club on one side. I called him Salad Fork. He had a club on one side with the 3 points all palmated. And I was seriously thinking about shooting him, and I passed him when I got back and had a good film of him. Even made a short out of it called Shoot or Pass. You can go and look for that one. And he giant on one side and just had that club Salad Fork on the other. But I passed him, and I thought, okay, well, that's two that I passed, and the other one was just this big giant 7 point. And I had numerous other ones on camera that were big also, but they only showed up like one time. These other ones were daylighting on my plots all the time, so I knew I had a pretty good chance at one of them. Well, as time went on, archery season was coming to a close, and I hadn't shot any of those bucks, and the freezer's getting pretty empty. So I thought, yeah, I've got to start shooting some does here. So I ended up shooting a pretty nice doe. I had a mock scrape out, and she came in first, and she went straight to the scrape and didn't offer a shot. And then she looked up and actually saw me, and I stayed still, and they got nervous, went in behind me, and I started using this new product this year from Elimishield Hunt. Elimishield's a great product for odor control. These deer went in behind me, and she was trying to catch my wind, and she could not do that. So she came back out and went into that scrape again. She wanted in that scrape so bad to check it out, because I had freshened it before I went in. And she got in it the second time, didn't offer a shot. So she got nervous, looked up again, and went in behind me, tried to catch my wind again. She could not do it. And the curiosity of her, she came back out. Now she has two does with her, two fawns, I mean. And she drug them all back out on the kill plot again, and for the third time, but the third time was her fatal mistake. She came out and she gave me her back, and I had all the opportunity to draw the bow and to be able to shoot her. And again, no video footage because it was so dark and the cameras did not pick up. So now I've shot a Sika buck and a doe. No footage. So now archery season comes to an end, right? Now I gotta get the gun out, and I've got to go out and sit with the Orange Army and hunt. Didn't know where I wanted to go. I ended up got up Friday morning after Thanksgiving, picked a piece of state land, took a ladder stand out, set it up early Friday morning, and got out of there. Saturday morning I got up, I went out. There was a guy probably 200 yards from me in a tree that I kind of knew would be there. He leaves his stand there all year round for like the past 4 years. And I kind of figured he'd be there. But anyhow, about 8 a.m., 3 doe come up out of the valley, out of the posted land, and was crossing out in front of me. And about 30 seconds later, why, a small buck comes out, following those does, and I couldn't get on him. Too much stuff in the way, no ethical shot, had to watch them go off. I thought maybe I missed my opportunity. Well, within 5 minutes, this other buck that I did shoot came up the same exact trail, nose down, sniffing where those does had just walked. And I was trying to get him to stop somewhere so I could get a good look at him. I had the binos up, I checked him out, I thought, man, this is a good buck, I can't let him get away. I've got to make something happen, and you've always got to make something happen instead of just watching them walk away. You got to at least try. So these, I was trying to stop them with the old meh, that old grunting with the mouth. Excuse, my furnace just kicked on. It's going to be a little bit noisy. But I'm giving the old meh. Nothing. So finally I'm getting louder and louder and louder as he's walking away out of my life. And finally I just yelled at him, "Mah!" really loud. I just made this god-awful noise, and he stopped and froze like a statue. And it just happened to be in the right spot where I had sort of a eyeball on him. And I could see him in the scope, but I had two limbs that were sticking out like that, 40 yards in front of me, and I had to shoot between the two limbs through this little window, like a 1 foot by 1 foot window. And I threaded the needle. I wasn't sure what was going to happen. High shoulder shot, put it on him, pulled the trigger, and he dropped like a rock. Well, I knew that other fellow was over there, and I knew that deer had to be sort of close to him, because the shot was probably about 90 yards. So the deer was between he and I, probably. I mean, he wasn't in direct line. I wasn't shooting at him or anything, but there was a chance that he might have been able to see that deer from where he was sitting, and I didn't want him to try to put another bullet in it and claim my buck. So I got down pretty quick, and I started to go over there, and the closer I got to him, he started to thrash more and more and more, so I had to go over and finish him. Boy, no ground shrinkage here, guys. He's a nice buck, and he's a very good buck. I was very pleased with a PA rifle kill on public land, of all things, So I get him out of there. That's Saturday, the opener. I get up Sunday morning, and I decide, okay, I'm going to go out to the same stand, and I've got one last PA tag to fill. And I got out there, and it was divine intervention for a Sunday morning. God delivered me a doe, and I made a deal with God. Sitting there praying, I said, God, if you bring me this deer, if you bring me a doe into this opening in front of me, I will shoot her, no matter the size, as long as it's not a fawn. And I seen a doe coming a little while later, and I said, Lord, if this is the doe you're sending me, bring her to this spot right here in front of me in that clearing. I want a good, clean shot so that I can get out of here early enough to make it to church at 11 a.m. 8:06 in the morning, I believe it was. She walked toward me in the clearing, and I said, Lord, thank you. This is the one. You sent her. This is it. So, film footage to follow. I end up shooting the last tag that I had a doe down, got her to the butcher, and I still made it to church by 11 a.m. So, divine appointment. But yeah, had a pretty good season. It all worked out. I hunted every night of the season, all through archery and into rifle. I only needed the first 2 days there, and I have one more tag to fill, possibly next weekend, which would be the 9th and the 10th of December, is when New York deer season goes out. And so I may take a run to New York and see if I can fill that tag as well. So thank you for watching and following along. Be sure to subscribe to the channel. I'm about 50 away from my 1,000 subscriber milestone, and at that point I'm going to be giving away a one-off laser etched city sticker knife. The blade will be etched, and it'll be a one-off knife. No one else will have one like it. And if you subscribe, well, we're going to pull somebody randomly, and they're going to win this knife for 1,000 subs. So be sure to get over to City Sticker, hit subscribe, and hit the notification bell, and follow along and get in on the knife. Thanks for supporting the channel, and we will see you later. Divine appointments by the Lord. Thank you, Jesus. Outdoor Edge, fine quality knives and tools.